This is how you can draw your circuits on the blank pneumatic board. First you have to actually get it. So go here, open it up, and then save it. So save as, I've got my stuff organized, sorry, Humber Labs, Lab 1, and let's call this, you want to keep a blank. Let's call this pneumatic board, Lab 1. Lab 1, I'm just going to call it Lab 1A, because sometimes you do more than one lab in Lab 1 or Lab 2. Okay, so now I have this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find it in my folder. Now it's over here. Now there are a couple different ways we can deal with this. I can just hit edit and that'll open it up in Paint. It'll open it up on your computer if you've got Windows 10 and Paint as well. Or whatever the default to edit it is. Or you can go to Open With. Now I've got 3D Paint, you have whatever other drawing program you have. You can even open this up in Adobe or whatever you have. You've got to have some drawing program, and if you don't, you've got Paint. So I'm just going to go Edit. Okay, good. Here and now. This is, I want to go to the lab itself, and I want to kind of highlight a few things. One is, you know what, I'm going to do a screenshot here. I'm going to get a couple of these things, and these are the hoses that I have to hook up first, second, and last, and whatever. So I'm just going to paste these in here. I'm going to just put this stuff here as an example, although I am not actually going to use it. I mean, I'm not going to leave it there. The other thing is that I want the actual lab itself, so I'm going to copy this. Now you can put this somewhere else, or you can I'm going to just put it there. And now I also want some other information from the lab as well. And what I want here is I want the color codes for these things. And that's right at the top. Again, I'm going to do another screenshot here. And I'm just going to take this, put this in here. So don't leave this stuff in your drawing. I'm just putting this here to remind me. You should actually put it somewhere else, or just keep it on another file that's open somewhere. Okay, so, or go back to the sheet to refer to it. Now what I want to do is I want to draw on this. So I've got a bunch of different drawing ideas here. This is a good brush to use. Just use this brush and use a fat line. I've designed this to be a certain size so that it actually works out. But first I want to highlight what we're going to do is we're going to hook up all the DCVs first, and those are the green ones. And you can see those here. Go back to my brush. That's this line here and this line. I'm just going to hit Control Z to get rid of those. Now, I'm going to draw those lines. And that's actually this and this. So it's those two lines. Now, the next is hook up your supply. Okay, so the supplies are red. Now, I'm going to go up to the manifold because I have to multiply this 3 times. Why? Because I need air here, I need air here, and I need air here. So I have to go to this. Now if I were to go to that, I'm just multiplying it 2 times. So here you have a bunch of these that are open. It's okay, and I'll show you how to deal with that in a minute. I'm going to run air. Actually, I'm going to run air out here down to here. I'm going to go on the left side because those have polarity to them. Now this guy, I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to go into the left side because they have polarity. Now, I've done my air into here, but I also need air into my DCV because my DCV, my directional control valve, it decides whether to put air out here or out here to make the cylinder extend or retract. Now let's take a look at this. The way this thing works is that there's an open cavity inside here. So all of these are fully connected. And these are just open to air. So they're just bleeding. So what we do is we take a short hose and we put that there, and then we put that there. Now there's actually a second way to do this. I could have run my air supply into here, and only these two were connected. So I'd have to run another line to here. So if I were to have done this, and then I were to run a line into there, I have 1, 2, 3 available. So I could have done that too, but I just chose to use the one larger open manifold and block these off. Now what I've got to do is hook up these guys. So I'm just going to take a look at hook up the pilot hoses. That's the last thing you do. So when you're designing these circuits, always build them like this, in this order. So the pilots, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go over here again, and I'm going to get this brush, and I know I've got yellow, and I've got that nice thick line. Now, that's this guy here. That's this line and this line. Those are the pilots. I'm just going to Control Z those, so we're not too much stuff going on here. Now that's the air coming out of here. That air is going to go into that pilot, and this air is going to go into this pilot. I'm done. I've drawn all the hoses for this circuit, so I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm going to go back to black, and down here I'm going to do the date. I'm using font 20 or 22 is probably okay, and it says 16th of May 2020, and I'm just going to move that down over there a little bit. The lab name, we're going to call this Lab 1. Lab 1 gate control. Okay, so now I'm just going to move that down there so it's nice and pretty. Change, obviously you're not Lars and that's not your student number, so change those things as well. And you can do that just by selecting it up here and grabbing it like that and just hitting delete. And also just hit delete there. And then you can go ahead and put your text tool in there and write your name and your student number. Now, I'm just going to save it because I've already named it. Now, the other thing is, we could have opened that differently. I'm going to go back here, and I'm just going to have another blank here. I'm just going to open this one up. I'm going to open this one with Paint. Now, Paint is a lot more, 3D Paint. It's a little bit more powerful. So, I'm going to open with 3D Paint. 3D Paint's pretty cool. So I'm actually going to go to shapes. You'll like this. This is a lot more accurate. It's a lot prettier. Okay, so I'm going to draw my DCVs first. I'm going to go from here to there. Now, that's not the color I want, but that's okay. I'm going to choose green. Now, this guy, I'm going to go over here, and maybe I'll just make it go like that. Kind of looks good. And I'll do another line here. I'm going to do this guy here, and I'm going to go from here to here. So you take that, whoa, and you just, there we go, sorry. Go from there to there. I'm going to just be a little bit careful with this stuff. There, that's kind of nice. Now I have to go to red, so I'm going to go here, and I've got to have a supply up to here. That's probably pretty good the way it is. Now I need another one that goes from here to, whoop, I almost hooked it up to the wrong port. I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm actually going to put that maybe here and there. Okay, that's nice. And I'm going to do another one of those. And I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go down. Sorry, let's see if I can go down here. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, so no, I kind of don't like that. I'm going to go from there to there, trying to make it a little prettier. Okay, that's fine, whatever. Now I'm going to do another one here, from here to here. So as you can see, these lines are going to look a little bit nicer, and that's fine. And now I can do one there, one there, one there, and then you want to do your control hoses. Now for this, you just over here, you do File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as an image, and I'm going to save it to here. I'm just going to say Lab 1B, and then there's a dot. Okay, so that was a weird name. So now, whatever, don't say it. What I want to do is I want to show you what to do next. So this is where you submit your work. So down here, sorry, I just got to go into student view to kick me out. Okay, so labs, lab 1. Now that drawing is as if you built the lab, right? Okay, so we're going to go here, hand drawing. And I'm going to browse my computer, and I'm going to choose this drawing, although it's a mess, and I'm going to say, okay, that's the drawing, and you'll see what it looks like when you submit it. Actually, you're familiar with this. So now you say, okay, that's your drawing. Now, when you do your drawing, you're not going to have this stuff here. Now, the other thing is, you know what? I want to do another one. I want to submit that other one because it's better. I'm like, oh yeah, I submitted the wrong one. Click this guy. Submit. Wrong one. Submit that guy. And let me show you actually on my end what it looks like when I mark these. Okay, it actually looks just like this. So I see this. So let's actually go to the grading sheet, exit preview. And I'm going to go, so this is my grading sheet. This is what you, so these are the things that are due. This is the Lab 1 quiz, and these are the 2 things you need for Lab 2 submitting. So what I do is I click in here, and then I see this, and I view attempts. And I can see actually both attempts, but so I'm going to take this one, I'm going to say, no, I want to see the next one, because it'll actually tell me 2 attempts. I'll look at your last one, and I'll look at this, and I'm like, okay, buddy forgot some stuff. Whatever. I'm going to give him like a 2. Anyway, so that's how it's done. You can use any drawing program, or the other thing is you can actually print it out and draw it by hand, but you need to use colors. So, I mean, you better have some of these, because the lines, the actual hoses have to be colored, because in the lab, when the students build these, we actually make them use the right hoses for colors. That's it.